man.
Y'all believe in Joe Hendry's name, fighting through the fire in the wrestling game. Hearty soar like the legends they defied. Knockouts fight, her power aligns. Mic drop, we analyze every bout, discussing every twist, don't leave a doubt. Predictions, insights, we break it all down into somewhere best critics around. Into somewhere we reviewing every bout, breaking down the moves, ain't no shadow of doubt. WWE, we bring that white hot flame from Ray to Gunner, we calling names. Yeah. Turnbuckle tension, the ropes might snap. Jake calling spots, Cody's laying the map. Spaz with the bent, or a joke, then a clue. Breaking it down for the hardcore crew. Into somewhere wrestling minds collide, breaking down the chaos, the truth won't hide. Briefcase in the air, who's taking the gold? We're diving deep, stories unfold. RKO hits like a freight train crash. Lights out cold in the WWE backlash. Cats on fire, gonna brought down low. Fighting flames on this endless show. Somewhere Jake and Spaz ride, taking you on an NXT pride. Cincinnati's roar can't hide. Wrestling dreams all collide. The scoop on the belts and the rivalries brewing. Tag teams exploding, legends renewing. From indie vibes to the big stage proving. Every rumor nailed down, no chance of misconstruing. Catchphrases dropping like a pile driver move. Jake switch sharp, Cody's got the groove. They keep it real raw, never out of the loop. Step into somewhere, the wrestling troupe. First night, false fists in the sky. Second night, the legends collide. Into somewhere we crash and burn. Turn the page, no way to return. CM Punk and Gunther fight. Cody Rhodes, John Cena ignite. Broken foot, but the show rolls on. Jake's pain sings a quiet song. In the sun, where we all fall. Wrestling rumors, wrestling brawls. Jake and Cody calling it raw. In the somewhere, breaking the wall. In the somewhere, where we break it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reviewing like a beast, no one does it clever.
What's going on, ladies and gents? How we doing tonight? It is Monday night, September 22nd, 2025. This is your Monday Night Raw review. I am Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you once again from my mom's basement. What's going on to the one and only, the man, myth, and legend himself, the meat to my man witch, Cody O'Needy316. What do you have to,
What's
bud?
going on?
Glad you're with us and
Saturday
alive.
I had to leave early.
I know.
Like Saturday I was gonna die. I felt like, because I just broke out in sweat and I felt like everything was spinning.
I sent the Peruvian flu to your house as a joke, and I didn't know when I went on that website that it was for real. Like, that's crazy that you can send those type of diseases to people's houses, but lo and behold,
my voice.
I mean, I don't sound great either. We're living off of you know, nasal spray and a hope and a prayer. But allergies and colds be damned, bud. We're here, we're live, and Raw, I think, was a little bit better possibly than Wrestlepalooza for some. I could see that. I mean, there was some damn good wrestling tonight. I think I like Wrestlepalooza a little bit more, but Wrestlepalooza was like the tale of two shows. The first two matches just weren't great, and then the rest of the show I thought was pretty damn spectacular all in all. So thankfully, tonight was a lot building and going forward, just not that much I personally care for.
See, I still thought tonight was a boring show, and maybe this is just me being negative. I don't know, but Triple H or whoever you want to fucking blame at this point needs to take some sort of accountability, because who the fuck wants to pay $30 a month just to watch your piss poor PLEs, because the builds for each and every one of your PLEs are the same. All we've been getting is the Vision, Usos, LA Knight, brawl for all. And I'm getting sick and tired of that. What different things did we have tonight? And one of your big marquee matchups that you had for Wrestlepalooza were John Cena and Brock Lesnar, and you barely see any of them anywhere, anytime at all. And you didn't see any of them for the aftermath after that squash match. And that's something else I want to talk about too, because holy shit, this is just pissing me off.
I like you being f***ing pissed. I mean, people might say Mike is bleeding or something, but go with it. I'm kind of in the same mindset as well here. I'm not being negative, but one of the things I wanted to address early on is this. I mean, I've had several people send me this today on Twitter, and
well, before we get into anything, the Stephanie Vaquer promo, it made me kind of switch my stance on it a little bit. Like, I'm not saying I'm wrong maybe about her it being too early, because I still believe in some world that it could be the case. But that motivated me. That motivated me that maybe I will potentially be wrong, because they gave her the world tonight. They
so
let her have a
you
live
were
microphone,
trying
and she did
to
great with her
basically
English.
say
Pyro.
so you're trying to say so sorry. I'm gonna get it. Sorry.
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
You said it for me. Okay.
Damn it. Gives me chest
Stephanie,
pains
if you
every
ever listen to
time.
this, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll
Damn.
admit it. I was wrong.
Didn't expect it. No,
But
she
God-
10 months, and this is the English that she's learned already.
And you got to respect that.
I can't even read a Taco Bell sauce packet, and this woman's speaking damn near perfect English in 10 months' time. Imagine how much better it's going to get. But if you want to see her live at WrestleMania from the nosebleeds, Section 400, that is limited view, obstructive seats, so stage or whatever's in the way. You're not able to see the entire setup. That's going for $854. Nosebleed
That's
seats
fucking insane.
with obstructed view. That's
That's almost
from
like the
there,
same price for that. Remember that like blank Liv Morgan they called merchandise that they had with that little tiny logo for a few $100s on
yes, that just
WWE
itty
shop.
bitty, that itty bitty corner of it. Yeah.
And some people blame the wrestlers. They went after them, saying, "Why are you pricing your merch so high?" I'm like,
yeah, because they have
like
a
they
say
control
in
their
any
price.
of exactly. They have no say in any of that, and we've seen it. I'm still shocked that Karrion Kross is gone from WWE. I mean, he's got dates
Oh, me
booked
too.
overseas halfway through 2026 now. So this isn't a work. Like he's gone, he's out. There's no story building. This is indeed highway
like shit.
robbery. You sound like shit,
okay,
but at
I'm
least
here.
you're not dying, you know? Well,
That's true.
I've
I
got
could
some
be.
bad
You never
news. Yeah, that Peruvian
I am
flu.
dying?
Well, they say, it's like the Lazarus effect. You feel better before you feel worse. So hopefully that's not the case, and you're just improving, and you're not gonna not wake up tomorrow. If that's the case, though, I will be looking for a new co-host. Countdown ended at hotmail.com. Send me your resume just in case he kicks the bucket. Sorry, Cody. Gotta think with a forward thinking mind. It's what's best for the channel.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
best for the channel, doing what's best
Yeah,
for
Turning
business.
Point, they're going to keep putting out shows. We got to as well. You know, if they can do it,
That's
so
true.
can we. But would you want to pay $7,000 to sit on the floor and not be front row? Because 9,000 up here, Section A on the floor is not front row. Section A is lower floor from row 10 to row 4. Rows 5 and up, which is part of Section A, but rows 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What do you know there? Those are the elite packages
maybe
for
before
$10,000 and up. So
maybe when you get into that arena, when you spend all that money, every step you take, they make you stop and watch an advertisement.
well, yeah, you've got to go ahead and then you got to fill out a survey about how it made you feel and why Stephanie McMahon is the greatest revolutionary for women's everything ever. It will move you to tears.
That's another thing I want to say. Wrestlepalooza, I didn't have enough time to get all my rants out because I was feeling like shit. But Wrestlepalooza, Triple H, this is another thing Vince McMahon want to do. I'm not trying to say he's a better booker than you. Maybe the old school Vince is, but yeah, what's with all this lying and fucking manipulation towards the audience saying you're going to see surprises and all this galore?
You
Like,
want
I
my
didn't
honest
see any
guess,
surprises
Cody?
whatsoever.
And I'm gonna let you rant, but my honest guess is that Triple H has now truly become a puppet in the most polite sense ever. Like, he's still getting his ideas out there, but he no longer has the final say so. We've seen evidence of this multiple times. We've seen The Rock come back, be able to do what he wants. We've seen changes be made without his knowledge or, you know, like his digression. Like, he's not been able to lead the charge for this. Both Khan and Ari Emanuel have both decided things on Triple H's behalf. So,
which is insane because I don't think they know jack shit about the company.
It seems like he like it's come down to almost like a committee, and he no longer has final say. And what are they doing? They're booking for the highest dollar they can accrue possible. Why? Because they're selling themselves to Saudi Arabia. They're getting all of the things that Triple H is going to
sell WWE.
His wife in the Hall of Fame. We've discussed all of these things are happening to get it done.
So that's why I think it was a rush
to Saudi. Yeah,
I did see JD's video earlier today. He posted a little video, and he thinks that that Triple H and Stephanie are going to get pushed out immediately. So Triple H was like, "All right, now we need to get Stephanie into the Hall of Fame as soon as possible, ASAP." So,
because now I used to be able to laugh at this. It was something that my brain couldn't wrap itself around. I couldn't fathom it. But now McMahon lists WWE. I mean,
that would be insane.
I would consider Triple H more McMahon than Shane at this point, honestly. But it's a sad state of affairs, and
yeah, because
we were on such a high. People were going nuts. The Paul Levesque era. We were. What I don't know when exactly it changed behind the scenes. It must be when The Rock came on the board. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, he's a scapegoat. He's easy to blame." But that lines up as to when things started to kind of
because 2023, 2024, a lot of great shows. And you can forget about fucking SmackDown at this point. That's long gone in the gutter. I don't even know.
Then we headed into Mania 40, all like full steam ahead. Things were going well, and then The Rock was like, "Oh, I'm going to take on Roman and basically make the Royal Rumble worthless. I'm going to make Cody face, him another time, and I'm going to." So that was the point where it was like, "Oh, I can do what I want. I'm going to do what's best for me." That's a huge problem, and we've seen the ripple effect of this on the WWE, even the documentary series, their Real program, the making of WrestleMania 40, all of it. We saw how The Rock really just exercised his power. So I worry that maybe I didn't hear JD's opinion. I usually try to avoid all the media opinions until after we do the show, so I could not be of that mindset. But I'm shocked.
I usually do that too, but like I was kind of like, bored to this. I was like, let me just hear what he has to say. And
hey, it's another form of entertainment. Am I right? People are upset that Ava still has a job after so many other people were let go after making disparaging comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. So, yeah, she made some.
I mean, if anyone else said that,
upset.
they would have been terminated immediately. But she's The Rock's daughter, so she gets to say whatever she wants. And
if it's
again,
not a nepotism moment, it really feels like it.
So, like, what she's basically saying is, hey, okay, so, hey, you said things I didn't like, so oh well, you passed away. Oh well, like this is what we've come to as a society.
Yeah,
Really.
not a great look. One of the things that did kind of make me chuckle today, because I could see it being real, but I could also see it just being speculation and hearsay. Supposedly, and this is being reported by quite a few sources now, they said that a fan who sat in section 107 at the Scotiabank Arena, directly behind the hard camera, was told to relocate by AEW staff shortly after the event began. The fans said that they and 15 others were moved to section 119, which directly faces the hard camera. The twist came from who was sitting nearby. The fans said they were told by an arena employee that WWE had bought the seats in their original section with the goal of leaving them empty on the pay-per-view broadcast. So basically, they're saying that WWE bought a bunch of tickets on the hard cam side, the opposite side, so they would look like they were empty on the camera. Now, this is coming from fan speculation, and the one story we do have confirmed of this is someone had an awful odor that caused several fans to relocate. And I agree, wrestling shows need to have what Pokemon, the trading card game, and Magic has enacted. They have a hygiene rule where if you show up, you show up and you smell, you're not allowed to enter the tournament or enter the store and play, whatever it is. They need to do those type of things for wrestling events, concerts, all of it. When we went
to wrestlers,
yeah.
Drew McIntyre and Liv Morgan both said it. Like, if you're gonna go up to them and take a picture with them,
and Cross, a bunch of them said
they don't want to
yeah.
smell your nastiness, right?
No, God, I mean, and no one in the arena should have to sit next to that either. And the lady and the guy, it was a guy and his girlfriend, and the two of them had to be moved initially. And then there was reports of several others in that section that were moved as well. And they went and voluntarily chose to sit somewhere with an obstructed view just to get away from how awful the smell was. They're like, it wasn't like it was just body odor. It was like sour.
I'm not surprised that coming from an AEW event, though. Those sickos.
Yeah, just kill me now.
Like,
I don't know.
I've been to wrestling events, though, and this is true. Wrestling fans, you are some of the nastiest, stupidest people I've ever seen. Nastiest, for one. You guys don't know how to bathe for anything. So all of you Twitter accounts, I know you go to the show, you fucking well in your mother's basement, eat your junk food and just civil up in your own stench, and then go out in public because you're used to your own stench. You don't even recognize that it smells bad. It's just a natural deodorant to you or whatever, I guess.
So,
yeah.
I know we're going to get into the Raw review, and I want you to be able to rant as well. But one of the things I want to do really quick is a bit of a game. I want you to tell me, what female superstar is this? You ready? Right there on screen in WWE 2K25. What female superstar is that?
The fuck?
If you get it wrong, I shock you. Just letting you know.
I'm trying to. I don't know. It looks like a mixture of a younger Rhea and I don't know, that mouth seems. I'm trying to picture that in my head. A younger Rhea. Can we just go with a young Rhea Ripley?
Let's see. Nah. Oh, sorry, we had to shock you there, Cody. In fact, Cody Ray got it right. It was Nikki Bella. So she's going through her.
You're fucking. You're
Look,
shitting.
I'm going to zoom out now. Stop. You ready? And I zoomed out. Look, I zoomed out. Now, to be fair, Nikki is complaining as well. She feels like this model is horrific. She's like, it's got a weird haircut. So on the podcast, her and her sister kind of went on this tirade, and I was like,
"Wait, you guys you're not trolling me, right?"
I'm not. No. This is from the game. You can see right here. You know, you can see her. That's live gameplay footage they got going on here. Yeah, they did a terrible job. There's a few females in the 2K series, but this one really looks like the man that joined the female volleyball team and then got put through the WWID program by mistake. and just happens to also be named Nick, and the last name is Ebella, and they're like, oh, that's Nikki Bella, and he's like, no, it's Nick Ebella, and they're like, close enough, and they're like, where's your costume? And then we had Nick E. Bella. Yes, remember Booker T model? Yeah, we've had some stars back in the day, but this one, do they do the hip shake thing? I want to know. Oh God, they do the hip shake. Look at this. Oh, that's wrong.
This is horrible.
You can see his bald. Never mind. All right, forget it.
Oh my God.
I see why Nikki complained though. She said, "Girl, the whole thing's terrible. This is so unflattering, inaccurate. This is what you think I look like. This is what you guys think of me. That's how I look. You need to call me ma'am, ma'am." Exactly. That's what I get from this.
That's awful. I don't even play those
Thanks,
2K games anymore. Those.
Are they even good anymore? Done some terrible injustices to some of the women this year, especially. I believe it's either Tiffany Stratton or Candace. One of them. It was really, really like, yeah.
I've even lost
understand why it's an issue.
Video games in general. That's why I've been struggling to get out gaming content. But I think I'll have a motivation if I'm actually doing it as like a fun.
It shows her soul and she doesn't like it. Spaz Phoenix, the one, the only. Make sure you check out his info in the description box down below, where him and I go ahead and post weekly episodes of the State of Wrestling on his channel.
It actually looks more like Spaz than it does Nikki, to be fair.
I would agree. Spaz is far sexier anyways and less plastic. So, the thing in women's we do have to look forward to with women's wrestling is that Mickie James, and they made her look like Piggy James one of the recent years too. They were horrible to her in one of the 2K games. That's worse than getting your stuff in a trash bag.
I'm trying to remember. There was another.
There's been a few. But Mickey's going to be entered into the TNA Hall of Fame this year. So at Bound for Glory, Sunday, October 12th, which we'll be showing live on the channel our reaction to. So it'll be a great time. We'll be hanging out with everybody to go ahead and review that and do our little watch-along thing. But they are indeed nicer, Spaz. I give you that one. Better than Nikki and Kiki. We'll go with it both. So that's going to be...
used to have some bad models.
Lowell, Mass. Going to be a hell of a night there. TNA World Champion Trick Williams. Also, got to defend that title.
Before we get into the Raw review.
Yeah.
We got like 3 different mini news topics to go over.
There's quite a few.
Which one you want to start with first? Cody and Drew, the Brock and Cena, or the ESPN reporter?
Well, actually, even before that, tomorrow night we have the NXT kind of fallout, everything happening for the Go Home show, heading into No Mercy this upcoming weekend, which we will be live for. So tomorrow, big implications and huge title match here. It's going to be amazing. We have the NXT champion, Obafemi, taking on the TNA champion, Trick Williams, in a title versus title match. One man must win. Somebody's walking out with that belt. And speaking of belts, Feed title finally going to be on the line at No Mercy. We're going to find out who is facing Sol Ruka.
The Soul Snatcher.
That's right, Snatcher. Stephanie helping us out there. Laney Reed, Candice LeRae, speaking of Candice, are going to be facing each other for a shot at that #1 contendership. So tune in tomorrow for our live review of NXT. And then we'll be live this Wednesday with Into Somewhere Weekly, where we go over our predictions and so much more for this upcoming weekend. You're not going to want to miss it. So let's start off, I guess, with the ESPN snafu coverage, however you want to put it. It was a thumbnail for tonight, but people were just kind of, it wasn't so much the rating itself. I think that was the issue. ESPN, they had their first PLE show, and with that first PLE show, they went ahead and had their first rating of said show, and they gave Wrestlepalooza a C. And a lot of people felt like, oh, you're supposed to be lying, you know, you're supposed to be really, going ahead and putting your best foot forward. Come on, you guys are supposed to fluff this up. Yeah. And they felt like, ESPN was not really giving them a fair shake. And I'm like, no, the show was about a C, maybe even like a C plus or low B.
Actually,
because 3 of the 5 matches were really good. Just the first 2 were really disappointing. So it's a heavy scale.
That's why I want to know, like, what's people's issue with this rating. This was actually very fair because the WWE audience was lied to, by the way. Brock and Cena we'll get into in a minute. Like, if it doesn't go the way I'm predicting, then I'll look like an idiot and I'll just admit it. But like, the Brock and Cena thing, if it goes the way majority of people are thinking, then yeah, that was a dumb idea.
So the
I don't
issue
know what else
is
did they say.
it's the reviewer. It's Andreas Hale. So he was admittedly he's a gigantic AEW fan. Dare I say sicko? Maybe could even call him with his middle name being Mark. But
he did review this quite fairly.
I don't disagree with that, but he at times does show his AEW bias, and he was watching AEW's main event when he was supposed to be reporting on WWE's inaugural ESPN show. So Wrestlepalooza started when the main event was still going on for All Out. He was still live tweeting All Out when he was supposed to be covering ESPN. So you could see, like, did he even actually watch the opening match with Lesnar and Cena? Did he, you know, that kind of thing? It's just, you don't know what's genuine, what's actual, like, fair criticism when, I don't know, you can see his bias is evident and rather plentiful. If you go through his Twitter, you can just see that he is a big supporter of AEW, and having somebody that's on the payroll for ESPN be against your newly acquired company is probably not great for business. So
I do get that, but to be fair, I do feel like he was just genuinely being fair with us. I don't know if there was bias intended, but even if bias was put into it, like, it still ended up being like an accurate report because were the surprises in the room with us when Triple H said that there's going to be surprises at the show? Because I didn't see any surprises. What are we talking about? Stephanie McMahon getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. No offense, I love Stephanie.
Yeah,
McMahon,
that was not an epic
she
moment.
Absolutely deserves it. Like,
I'm happy
that wasn't
for
an
her.
epic moment to me.
No,
that's something you could have announced, like how you announced Triple H's Hall of Fame induction.
He said right here
on a wrestling show.
The excellent Vakor versus Sky match saved this show from being truly average. Phenomenal display inside the squared circle. Everything else was underwhelming. He said the main event was short. Lesnar dominating Cena was kind of silly unless it sets up for a future match. And then he said for a card that promised to have epic moments, it fell a little short of expectations. He didn't say it was a failure. And this is his review, not ESPN. So I think people were a little too quick to attack him and claim that he's biased and a sicko and a cuck and all of that, because
I mean, WWE kind of deserves that negative report on ESPN. I mean, I feel like they deserve it, which is the funny thing about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a Lesnar fan for a while. His mentions went through hell, but he gave it a C. It was a C. It seems like people jumped on him unfairly. I think the guy deserves more credit than he's got, and then deserves a little more, benefit of the doubt here. I don't think he said anything that was untrue, and just because he was still live tweeting a different show doesn't mean that he didn't have two screens up or isn't able to do as I did. I started a few minutes late so I could skip through a few of the commercial breaks that they have set in, and they don't after the packages are shown. I think
I don't know. I think it was a fair report though, and it was posted on ESPN though, the website, right?
Yes, but it was always shown as not ESPN's review, but it was as his review on ESPN. And I think that's where people got their story mixed up, because they were claiming it like, this is ESPN's review, and they only gave it a C. Oh, that's got to be so disappointing for their product. And it's one show. This was a show thrown together over a weekend. It was received very well by the live audience. People walked away pretty happy. I wish they weren't so heavy on the heat angle of things, but
maybe this is just me nitpicking, but if you're going to go all out and act like this is going to be a spectacle like we've never seen before, as the bald man fraud said himself,
yes,
there's going to be surprises. What else did he say? Surprises. What else? Big moments, right?
Yeah, big moments and epic surprises. There were supposed to be, big moments, epic surprises. And Tony has a major announcement this week.
This could be a nitpick. Oh, I'll get into that in a second. One thing, I don't know if this is a nitpick. You can call me on it if it is. I think with the stage, there should have been a nice creative stage design for your first PLE on ESPN. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that.
I
You
miss
went with
them
the same generic
having.
page. That's laziness to me.
I miss them having the custom sets, and I know they can't go all out as they once did because logistically they can't, set up
can't
the
go
setup
all
the
out?
setup. But I think they can do certain bits of it. Glad you caught my little innuendo there. Hey, no puns allowed. All Out had a really great stage. I really liked the way it was set for the fans to see them as they walked out, and the pyro was great.
That's something
The
AEW
screen
still
was
does
huge.
good.
Yeah, they have custom sets, and I give them credit for that. The look of All Out was incredible. It felt like a big deal. We're still
It's
kind
like,
of unknown though. What's going on with Brock Lesnar and Cena? Right? You were telling me a bit before.
Yeah, I want to get into that. The Brock Lesnar and Cena thing. I still don't mind the ending to that. I think Cena doesn't need to win the rest of his retirement matches because nowhere in the rule book does it say John Cena needs to win every match that he's a part of for his retirement tour.
Yeah.
And I think Brock Lesnar looked huge, juiced, and all that. Like I think him losing immediately kind of like devalues that aura of Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
But I don't think they're done yet. I really do not think they're done yet. I don't know if they're going to have a match at Crown Jewel, but I do think both of them are going to be a part of the War Games. I think.
You think
What
so?
was CM? Remember what Paul Heyman did for Roman? Made CM Punk like that insurance policy to make sure they win their War Games match.
I mean, what we're hearing now is that as of yesterday, or should say Saturday morning, the 17 times, say that fast, world champ himself was set to win at Wrestlepalooza. So John Cena, the creative team told him that he was going over. He was the planned winner. And it wasn't a squash like this at all. It was a set match where they were both going to do highlights yet again. My finishes, your finishes, but equal, 50-50. Yeah. Anyone's guess now what happened, but a couple hours before, there was a major shift, and Cena was told, hey, it's your retirement tour, and you're losing. So was that a Lesnar complaint?
Which I don't mind.
I don't mind him losing, but for him to get squashed like this again, if they're not going to have another match, then
you have
what
a good
was
argument
the point?
with that. You have a good argument with that. But I think,
I mean, you
like
got
the
fans
thing with
crying
Cena
in the arena.
Was a momentum boost for him, right? And here comes the big bad Brock Lesnar to.
But if he doesn't topple Brock in another match, then you had the kids crying just to make him cry. Like there's no payoff. There's no.
I think that was a good
Brock.
visual though, because I shot on them crying. I think that was like a.
But you want to give those kids something to be hopeful for and a chance to get revenge, redemption, all of that. Instead, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I mean, Cena was promoting AJ Styles on his Twitter, putting an AJ's name out there. I think he's just teasing because he wants that match to happen, and he's hoping that if there's enough buzz, it'll happen.
And if I think he's gonna get his way putting that out there. He'll be like, all right, no, I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'm not saying they can't bury Cena. That's not the worst thing in the world, but how they did it was certainly just very lackluster.
I don't mind the squash match because this kills his momentum boost that he had going on.
But what momentum did he really have, though? He just lost at SummerSlam. He just got his ass beat.
But then he bounced back and beat Logan.
He beat Logan Paul. Big bounce back. You know what I mean? Like he still lost his title.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's not like this major story here like it could have been. If he's gonna lose to Lesnar, I would have rather have seen him win all this time, and then Lesnar was the first one to like really challenge him. He's like, shit, I've been coasting this whole time. Now I need to put the work in. And then they have an Extreme Rules match and they topple the Beast. Oh my God, Cena did it. He toppled Lesnar. Like that'd be great, but. Everything I've seen reported,
if
this was it.
If there's
no other match.
If there's not a second match, I'm going to look stupid and I'm going to admit like Cena should have won this. But if there is a second match, Lesnar should be winning this match because
I mean, according to Yahoo Sports, they're saying that it's just to disappoint more Cena fans. There is no plan here going forward tentatively to do anything.
If this was a plan, though, Cena should have won more than he did. And then so Cena's like, he thinks he's unstoppable now. Then he runs into the big beast Brock Lesnar. Then he gets mauled. Then he's like, oh fuck, I underestimated him.
We kind of got to look at this in a bubble, though, because this was always never planned. They planned Wrestlepalooza in a weekend. Once they heard they could get the arena, they were like, oh, let's do it. And they didn't do it to counterbook AEW, they said. ESPN said. ESPN claims that it was only done because that was the exact time and date they were able to get.
Yeah.
Cena has beat Lesnar. He beat him at Extreme Rules in 2012 when he came back. He beat him at another point in time, too. But Lesnar also dominated him, Suplex City. That's how that came to be. If Lesnar had to beat him here, fine, but they could have done so much more with it.
On this, their feud has kind of been backwards because at that Extreme Rules in 2012, Brock Lesnar should have won.
Yes.
And then the squash match at SummerSlam 2014 was perfect. That was a perfect kind of squash match.
It worked after they had him win the streak.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
You don't want to revisit a squash. It's not even as good as the WrestleMania.
That's my biggest problem with Raw tonight is revisiting what I feel doesn't work, and we'll get into that in a second. But with this, I really, I don't see them having a second match. That's my worry.
I think they're both going to be in War Games. I think Paul Heyman's going to use Brock Lesnar as the insurance ticket to Seth Rollins' group winning, taking on the Avengers. I think you're going to have like John Cena, CM Punk, possibly Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and whoever else you want to throw in there. And all that has story. Cody Rhodes has a history with Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. John Cena has a history with Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. Randy Orton has a history with Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. CM Punk has a history with Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. So all that is going to tail into one. And then you'll maybe get Drew McIntyre on the War Games team, and then you'll get Drew and Cena in the ring together. I think it's all going to
in the world it would be, but I'm not so sure because we don't know what made Saturday's change. So Drew was winning the title Saturday at WrestlePalooza. Drew was getting that belt.
Paul Heyman again for some reason.
Exactly. There was no explanation as to why he was back with Paul, and then Drew was winning the belt. Cody was being cost the belt accidentally by Randy Orton. Randy Orton was going to try and help, and then end up costing him that
fucking finish. They were like, no, let's go the boring route instead.
Randy would eventually pull the trigger and turn on Cody. Like everything was set up to be great. This was booked as such.
And by accident, it would probably been accidentally on purpose.
Exactly. What's going on, Frederico? Glad to have you here, and everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for let us know what your thoughts are.
I want to rant about that real quick. That's the other. Thank you for reminding me. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. Why didn't they go with that? Because that sounds like an amazing idea where Randy Orton accidentally costs Cody Rhodes to have Drew McIntyre win that championship. Drew McIntyre deserves it, by the way. It's something new and fresh for WWE because Cody Rhodes doesn't necessarily need the WWE championship.
I love Cody.
I get he just won it back, but what else does he really need to do with it?
But that's even more shocking. He just won it back. Oh my God, Drew takes it. Cody's better in the chase, so now he can fight to get the title back up until, and we get a bit of difference in now it would have been Seth and Drew. All right, that's a little bit better than
Cody Rhodes wanted
Seth and Cody.
Fucking Drew to be put over. Cody Rhodes wanted it himself.
I know. I don't know
if Cody Rhodes doesn't get his way.
I think the alarm bell should be sounding for fans right now. Like, I know I sound very hyperbolic, but this should be a huge warning when Cody's, fighting for something and not getting it creatively. When, John Cena is promised something and not getting it. When we're seeing some type of takeover in some way that it's going to affect the business entirely. They're pushing out families. They want whales for fans in the sense of not people that smell bad. They want people that spend a lot of money for the experience, the tickets. They want people spending 10 grand a pop for a seat. They don't want families anymore. They don't want kids. They want the Instagram crowd. That's what it feels like.
So like Cena's basically now like on Twitter tweeting out matches. So he'll be like, all right, I'll just tweet out what I want.
They failed John's retirement tour. Like Triple H said, you made the point of it at one point, in the real show, Unreal show. Oh, if we mess this up, how can we mess this up? And, it's on me. Oh, it is on you. Think about how bad. Yeah, John had good moments like him and Punk. That would have been good regardless. Him and Punk could both be heels, both be baby faces. Him and Punk could be handcuffed to each other. That's what I'm saying. They could have been naked in a bathtub covered in lube. It would have been good to watch. Regardless, I don't give a shit. Those two are destined to battle forever. Clothed or not.
And
just saying.
I think something, is very telling if Cody Rhodes doesn't get his way because even under Vince, like at this Cody Rhodes, if he wanted something, Vince would be like, all right, we'll
Not
go
just
with what
Cody,
you
but
want.
the champion not deciding. Usually the champ gets to say, no, I will relinquish the title. Like they get some say, some calling it. So it is worrisome. And
Cena not getting everything he wants. If Cena suggested something to Vince, Vince would be like, sure thing, pal. Like,
Cena's very agreeable. We know, like once something's suggested to him, he says, if this is what's best for business, let's do it. But I'm afraid that he's not enough of his own advocate to speak up for what's right. And TKO is too built on them making money right now. They are trying to get the biggest dollar out of everything. Like I said, having AJ wrestle again, AJ Lee, that was a very good match. I had a ton of fun with it. I just want to see what the follow-up's going to be. You know, I'm worried that they had that moment and nothing.
The wrestlers still love Triple H. What happens if he gets banned? Do you think wrestlers like protest? Like, does that cause some?
I don't think so. I think people are too afraid to rock the boat, and they know right now it's here
if all of them
AEW.
protest,
Maybe you can get into TNA.
But if all of them protest, can you fire everyone?
You won't get everybody on the same page, though. It'd be nice, you know. Ask Jesse Ventura. There's always going to be a Hogan out there. Sadly, there's always going to be somebody ready to, you know, want to be up the boss's ass. And
yep.
I don't know. Hearing that both these changes were changed. I mean, these things were happening. Drew was getting the title. Cena was winning, and then we get 2 hours before and it's done. Tony's big announcement, allegedly this Wednesday on Dynamite, is going to be the women's tag team titles.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think
they're supposed to have redo the Deadly Draw women's tag team tournament, but not make it for the cup, make it for the belts.
AEW titles.
Because now Mercedes can win those by herself too, and she'll have 2 more belts. So now she'll have, 15 by the time she's done.
Everything makes sense.
Perfect sense. I
don't know. The Snowman will be announcing that Wednesday.
Yeah, it seems like it. And we still don't have Lesnar in 2K25, do we? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm just, John Cena lost a lot with that loss. And I know, it's Cena. He can always just, but he needed like a fun moment there. He needed something good. Like there was a lot of heat at Wrestlepalooza. A lot of, afterwards we're going to destroy you and beat you down. And more of, the vision and the endless. And it takes away any enjoyment factor. And then seeing Cena get destroyed, all right. Everything with the Usos, all right. Like it just kind of, I don't know. The first half left a lot to be desired.
They're going to be in War Games together.
I don't. I know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Poll in the chat?
We can indeed.
You got a poll going. Like, do we think Brock Lesnar and John Cena will be in the War Game? I just want to see people's opinion on that.
So War Games.
If I'm wrong,
yes or no?
Okay,
we'll find out.
Yes. If I'm wrong, Cena should have won. If this is their last encounter, Cena should have 100% won. But I have a feeling that they're going to face each other again.
I hope you're right, but people are saying no. We got 1 vote for yes. Is
Cena who asked for that,
versus Lesnar in War Games?
No one asked for the first match, so who wants the second match one-on-one? I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Lesnar in War Games, though, because that's what War Games is intended for.
Mm-hmm.
People bitch about that War Games doesn't live up to the hype. You add Brock Lesnar in there, and holy shit, it does.
Yeah, Logan beat me to it in the chat. He and Cody are commenting right because, Edge, Adam Copeland, went ahead and showed more respect to John Cena in AEW than Triple H did that night. Not wrong. I mean, you got Cena beat on his ass, and he's the company man. He'll do it every time.
Do you ever think Edge regrets going to AEW? Because I'm sure he wants to face John Cena. That's why he did the little...
I mean, they just got his wife in there. He's wrestling with his best friend. I don't think that would have happened in WWE. So no, his WWE time was done. He retired in WWE, and I think he enjoys what he's doing. Honestly,
I'm glad for him, and I won't ever portray a wrestler for going to another company.
No,
that's the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Some people do, which is fucking idiotic. I don't
Hey,
like a wrestler anymore.
I know you're coming back around on Stephanie Vacour, but come to find out, it wasn't just the lack of booking in the #1 contender spot that was the issue, because she was poised to be the next champ, but we were waiting. Apparently, she was very, very sick the last few weeks.
And I didn't know about that. So
none of us did. So Triple H said this on the post press conference show. He said, I don't know the details of the flu type thing going on, but she was very, very sick. That's why she missed TV and why there was an odd build to her match.
See, I didn't know that. So my apologies for complaining about her not being on TV.
No, but it was a valid complaint. The issue was that I had was that, hey, what is she supposed to do? She's already the #1 contender if they don't have more people for her to face. But at least we got some things. We eventually got that kind of in-ring segment, but she was able to come out tonight and celebrate. She looks like $1 million. They gave her all the pyro.
I've always liked Stephanie. But I did think it was too early. And my main thing is the fear for her. Like I've said, I don't want her to have a short-term title reign. If they do it, they got to do it strong. Got to give her a long-term title reign.
I don't think she needs a long-term reign, honestly. I think they can do it short and still put her over effectively. I don't think she's going to hold it long. I think Asuka's taking this belt very soon, and then it's going to be kind of
going with it.
I think Asuka's going to take the belt from Stephanie.
Who's the
via
next
cheating.
3 champions? You think then?
I think Asuka will take it from Stephanie, and then I think her and Stephanie will feud. But it's going to be also sprinkled in with other people trying to take down Asuka as well. So it's going to be about her. Their whole heel arc and Asuka being
will be in the
evil.
Mix Rhea. Do you think this goes past Rumble time? Is it going to be like a hot potato situation, you think? Or?
No, I think it'll go like through Survivor Series into December, and then it'll finish up around then if that's what they go with it. But it'll certainly be something to do and interesting.
Where do you see
because
Stephanie dropping at Mania?
Before that. I don't see her making it too long. I think she'll if she doesn't, maybe by the Rumble, depending on what happens and who's going to be the champ. And
that's a video I still want to do with you. I know
if Liv has returned, yeah, gotta early predict the Rumble.
Early predict the Rumble. Then after we decide the Rumble winners, early predict Mania. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, they're not new guys today, Cena and Brock. No. Yeah, I know that Cena lost to Brock too in the Vince era, dude, but that's not a new thing. But at least there was a point behind it.
The squash match in 2014 was actually really good, I think.
There was a point to it because he just conquered The Undertaker. He had beaten the streak, and people were still kind of like, oh, Lesnar beat Undertaker, but he already lost to Cena before, so he'll lose. And then he went in there and he dominated Cena in fucking record time.
That made sense.
That's what was. And then he did it to Orton. He just kept knocking people down a peg and making them bleed and fucking them up, which built up the legacy around him. And then Roman couldn't get it done. And then finally Roman beat him, and that was supposed to be like his big coronation. So there was at least an end game with it.
Again, right?
Yeah.
That's when Undertaker was appearing on shows more, right?
Yeah, what did he yell? I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna have to. That great line. You're gonna have to. Getting that.
What was
they had a really good pull apart.
Televised match. Was that against Dean Ambrose?
That's a good question. I thought it might be something with the Shield.
Yeah, because I remember in 2013, 14, 13, right? He was wrestling on Raw and SmackDown again.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
But it's not like John was struggling and having all this, all right, so John lost the title to Cody, but then that Friday he comes out and he celebrates with Cody, and then he has that great match with Sami Zayn that Brock destroys. But he also beats Logan, and he also takes down, the tag team when he was in, taking on Logan and what's his name? So all in all, it was like John got wins since then. So he's not on this forever losing downward spiral that he can't get done. It was no, he already got his win back. So him losing to Lesnar, he doesn't have a crazy ton of momentum, but he's also not on this long losing streak either.
I want to agree with you.
There's no payoff yet. That's what I'm worried about. They're just going to move on.
If him and Brock are facing again, then I think Brock winning makes sense.
Yeah.
If they are done with each other, then yeah, you're 100% right.
Just like it never made sense if they only gave them minutes at the WrestleMania show where Cena was sitting in the audience. What was that, 34? and he had to go ahead and wait for Undertaker to show up, and then the dead man gets there, and then finally.
That's another match I want to talk to you about real quick. Do you think that should have been a squash match? Because
no, they needed more
I
time.
think Undertaker wanted to go longer.
He was ready to go for quite a while. He had trained up until that point. He had gotten his one of his surgeries in. Like, he was feeling better. He was moving better. He was like, yeah, and they gave him 3 minutes. He was really upset, and can't blame him.
Wasn't that like a dream WrestleMania match, Undertaker and Cena?
Yeah, and then certainly was. And then the year after, he was not involved in Mania at all at 35. I got that report out early on and got a bunch of shit for that one. It ended up being true as could be. And then on top of it, 36, he did the
which is crazy,
COVID Mania one.
Counting.
So
I don't know if I want to count that, but because it was like what do you even call that? That was like a, what those are. What do they call those matches?
Cinematic match. Yeah,
cinematic matches. So I don't even count that as his last WrestleMania. So if you want to be technical, I think John Cena was his technical last WrestleMania opponent.
Yeah, last in ring, certainly.
In ring, opponent for WrestleMania. Yes, that is
true. They're whatever you want to call it, buried alive type match out in the outskirts.
You can even say in ring. He didn't have another in ring match, did he?
No, not that I'm aware of. So
when was the Goldberg match? Was that before or after Cena?
I think it was after Cena, but I think that was 20. Maybe it wasn't after. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. I thought it was 2017, but regardless,
because those Saudi matches.
Yeah, they're in their own little.
I forget the time period.
Exactly, they're in their own little universe. Raw tonight was live, Evansville, Indiana. They were at the Ford Center, sold out. Like I said, September 22nd, 2025, live on Netflix. I was not able to use the VPN tonight, so I felt every commercial break in my soul. It was bad.
Why did you not use it?
I actually, it wasn't working. I don't know if it needed to be updated or what, and I didn't have enough time to play around with the damn thing. So Raw was starting, and I had to get in there and make sure I saw what happened. And what happened was just a recap of Wrestlepalooza that then had Cody Rhodes open the show. I would absolutely have to go over I don't think I've ever given a Mount Rushmore. Would Cena be on mine? Ooh, that's a good question. I think he would need to be, but that's something we'll have to break down on an episode of Into Somewhere Rivals. That's right. They did the usual check-in, Joe Tessitore.
Thank you for whoever suggested that, by the way.
Yeah, damn straight. That was Logan asking in the chat. So Cody comes down. Crowd's going nuts to see him, of course. We got our Cody Rhodes.
One more thing, I'm going to interrupt you one more time. Yeah, we're definitely using that for Into Somewhere Rivals, our Mount Rushmores. Because that was a video, that
was a trend for a while, but yeah, we had wanted to do something, but there's a lot to go through there. Yeah, Netflix had blocked one of my VPNs. It's like, now it's like, hey, you're using a VPN. So when I used a different one, it was working, but now it wasn't working anymore. So I don't know if it got updated or what, but Netflix was like, we are aware that you're using a VPN. So we want you to refresh without it and then try not to tickle your own asshole. If so, go fuck yourself. Get it? Ah, damn it. So yeah, we'll definitely be getting people in on that one for our Mount Rushmore. I want to ask the community's opinions on that. So Cody cuts his very usual "What do you want to talk about?" promo. He's saying how he brought out the crown jewel ring. Last year he beat Gunther, and this year we gotta burn it down. Yay! I know some people, Liz included, are okay with this. I have no desire to see Cody and Seth face off again. It's no fault,
my opinion on it,
but their own. WWE screwed themselves into a corner with this because we've seen Cody with a torn pec and his arm practically barely usable, less than like what they say, 10% strength on that side, defeat Seth in a Hell in a Cell. Torn pec. Purple chest. Looked like he was becoming the mascot, Grimace from McDonald's. God damn it. That's how I can hate on this. I do not believe Seth can get it done. Seth is not currently this epic fighting champion that's on this tear and has done so well on the level of what Cody has done to get and recapture the title. Cody held it up until Mania for the entire year. Yes, you did. And then he lost it to Cena, but look how fucking hard he fought to get that title back.
Why did you remind people of that?
So fucking hard. Rock hard, baby. If I get any harder, they're going to stick me into the ER because it's way past 4 hours and something's
based on
swollen.
my Twitter reply to you, I think you are aware of how I feel this match.
I know, and it's just like, I'm the
You asked
alpha.
me if it was
No, I'm the
cinema.
alpha. Nothing but, right? Peak
If you want to fucking call this cinema, I don't know what kind of cinema you got, like Timu cinema. Maybe.
And this is
this
not
fucking pisses me off. This is again something that fucking pisses me off. I'm like, oh my god, WWE just wants to.
they do not want this to feel like it's not a unification match. It's just champion versus champion.
Yeah,
Cody's gonna win. And then what do we have on the women's side right now?
I do like honestly, with the crown jewel titles, like I think they're worth nothing.
That's the thing here, and
what's the?
They're going to be in Australia this year. Hey, it's not in Saudi.
I know, like you can see my tweets. Like my whole shtick was, hell yeah, Liv Morgan's the crown jewel champion. Like that was for fun, the fun of it, but realistically,
I wish there was something that they got more than just the ring and the title that doesn't come home with them. But with those belts aside, I mean, we're on the women's side, it might be better because as of right now, we're getting Stephanie versus Unknown. We have a triple threat match. You've got Nia,
Tiffany, I guess,
Tiffany.
out of those three, if you had to choose.
Yeah, so Nia, Tiffany, and who's the third on SmackDown?
Nia and Jade Cargo.
Jade, there we go. Brain was having a pitter-patter
get
moment.
Back to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins real quick. Like, sorry to interrupt you, but
no, but that's what kicked off this show.
I don't give a fucking shit about this match. I really do not give a shit. And I know they tried to sell it tonight. Good promos. They're both good promos, but I do not give a single fuck about that match.
So here's my issue. I thought Cody had a really good promo. Seth, instead, I don't know. It didn't work tonight. Everything that he said about the watch and, oh, this is the first time I've worn it. Was this a genuine gift? It just makes him sound insecure. It makes Seth sound weak. It makes Seth sound
like all of a sudden he doesn't like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Like, because then it made Cody Rhodes confused, but like you helped me and stuff. So like,
so we had no problem with you forever, and then now I have an issue with you because like it's that false manufactured nonsense. Exactly. And because I'm the alpha. So just because you're here, like there's other ways they could have gotten to this. I feel like they took
just because
the lowest of all.
Automatically hate each other again because like last we saw Cody and Seth were kind of buddies now.
Up until so Seth turned heel, but it doesn't mean that he immediately hates on Seth, and they could have gotten here. But I don't care about the gaudy ass ring or the title because that doesn't mean anything going forward.
Because, like that makes no sense to me because like Seth helped you, so like you can't really hate on the guy.
It just I guarantee Cody will win. That'll be a good thing. Cody will be a 2-time champ.
So we agree on that, right? This match is
yes.
Okay, thank you. I think you knew that. That's why you tweeted that out at me. Cinema. Yeah. I knew you were being sarcastic with that.
Yeah, because I just, Seth got the Money in the Bank title, and how did he get it? He had his guys help him after Punk, damn near killed himself. Gets the title, and then he's got, always backup with the Vision, and it's just he. I don't know. It's tiresome for me, and there's so many other people that I would want to see as a champion facing a champion at this point. It's not a matter of being right. It's just how I feel, and I feel like it's boring. We've seen him and heel Rollins
think you at least maybe could have had. I think there could have been a little better interest with Drew and Seth facing each other.
I think I think you could have had. Never mind Drew and Seth. I think they could have gone ahead. Yeah, that probably would have been better. But
if CM Punk kept that world title, you could have revisited Drew and Punk.
There's so many. I think even Drew and
way
Punk.
Better
I wouldn't
intriguing matches.
at least they have a better record. You know, it's 2-1. Drew, lost to
Yeah,
Hell in
yeah,
a
like
Cell, but he won
exactly,
at
like that's
SummerSlam.
the best point of it though. Like when you're 3-0 against someone, you really don't. I could see if it was 1-1. All right, this is the tiebreaker. That this isn't really just for the crown jewel title.
And
This is just to see who's the better man.
my
Like
time
if
traveling lawyer made a great point. The Saudi stuff is canon now because last year they kind of went out of their way to make sure it was like, hey, this is happening for Crown Jewel, but it really doesn't mean anything going forward because these belts are going to stay in Saudi and you guys will get rings, but really the titles stay there and it's just a representation of.
I have a question of that. So how
now
is
it's
there
in
like
Australia.
a championship? How is there a championship match again if the titles stay?
And they're not doing it in Saudi. I thought that was like part of it. One of the matches each year had to
titles
be
are in
Crown
Saudi
Jewel.
and they stay there. So yeah, I thought
they stay at
like
the WWE
thing.
World Facility show.
That's what made me think it was just a
one-time.
It was going to be a one-time
Kids
occurrence.
Daycare Entertainment Center, Deodorant Zone.
I'm going to put this in baseball terms if you guys don't understand what Jake's saying. Like if you're 3-0 on something, so like for example, if Mets and Nationals have a 4-game series, and Nationals win 3 of the games, what good does it really do if Mets win the last game? What, they get 1 on you?
But they already lost.
Like the other 3?
They tried to get a field goal and they couldn't even get that.
Yeah,
morons. Hey, I saw the Mets get that touchdown. That was pretty sweet, but we'll get to my soccer picks after.
For the Commanders.
I've got my soccer picks. Yeah, football. Get it? Yeah. One thing I did like tonight, and I will give a high praise to, is Jimmy and Jay in the back.
Mets as a reference, though, because Liz is a Mets fan.
I heard the Braves won 8 in a row. Didn't get the playoffs, but got just a hell of a win streak. There was something about that. So
Liz should have been a Braves fan. Then she's a Mets
fan. I forgot she loves the Mets. Yeah, I mean, terrible.
She also loves the Judgment Day.
JD loves the Mets as well. He used to say he loved the Braves, but he loves the Mets. I know it for a fact. He's actually wearing 2 hats at all times, and he just hides that one under his Braves hat. So
yeah, he's from New York, and he doesn't.
Jimmy and Jay were really good backstage. Jay is becoming Roman in a very subtle but fun way. I still think LA Knight is going to be the one that turns. I think Knight is going to get shit on to the point where he snaps. And if he doesn't join the Vision, then he's just a heel on his own. But I think we're getting something with him. I'm a swerve for a swerve's sake. Oh, look at that. Braves won 9 games. It must really upset you if you're rooting for the Mets. Jay, of course, he's all bandaged. His forehead is all knackered up for him knocking himself silly with a steel chair. And he's like, hey, we would have won that match if it wasn't for LA Knight. If he wasn't the terrible referee. He's like, we got a lot to take care of. And once I get through LA Knight, that's all that matters. We're not going against Braun again. I'm going to take out LA Knight. So Adam Pearce allowed them to get a rematch, and Jay is focused on revenge. From
someone on this, don't worry, this has nothing to do with Liv. Don't worry, guys. I have a question. So, Cena tweeted out that they want Cena versus Styles, and then people are like, we also want Cena and Dom. Then I'm like, Cena and Dom is good because you're chasing for that title you never won. That's a good story to tell. And someone said that's not a story. That's just Cena wanting a title. I think Cena chasing the IC title is a story,
Yeah. I mean,
would you consider that a story?
That's definitely a story. That would be a huge story. So I agree entirely.
They said chasing a title wouldn't be a story between Cena and Dom. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know. John's got how many dates left? 5, 4, 6. I'm trying to confirm at the last second here. We've got what? We've got September 20th. We had, and we've got October 11th for Crown Jewel. He'll be there in Perth. We still don't know doing what. Then November 10th. Raw, that's in Boston. The 17th on Raw in New York, MSG. We've got November 29th, Survivor Series. and December 13th, Saturday Night Main Event's retirement match. So we've got 5 dates. We've got 2 Raws, a Saturday Night's Main Event, a Crown Jewel, and the Survivor Series. 5 dates left. 2 Raws that he could wrestle at, one of which should be AJ. I would love to see him be there for Bound for Glory, but that's October 12th. He's going to be in Australia the 11th, so he's never going to make it that day to the TNA show. I thought him and Joe Hendry would have been awesome for that. I really don't know who they're going to book for these last 5. I would like to see him and Lesnar get a rematch, I guess, just so this match meant something, but...
Him and Styles, I say him and
Styles
Dom
is a good one. Dom is a great one with the IC title on the line. Makes perfect
Someone
sense.
said that's not a story, though, between him and
But that's
Dom.
a great
just,
story
wanting
because...
the title.
But that is the story. You're the champion. I've not had that title. I need to get that before I leave, and they could make something of it. There's quite a bit of intrigue there, I feel like. I don't know what they're going to do at Crown Jewel, though. That's the big question, because he's not there to build anything before
there's
then.
no necessary story between Dom and
He might
Cena,
not have a match that day unless they throw something together. Like that night he goes out and then somebody comes out and challenges him, a la AJ, or like they did with Sami Zayn, and they have a match. But they might not have an advertised match at Crown Jewel for John. They might just say he has an appearance, because he's not on any Raw or SmackDown up until the Crown Jewel show in Perth, Australia, the 11th of October. That's a long ways away. I mean, you got a month out at this point. It's in 3 weeks. No TV, so that's 6 shows of no Cena to build to what? Him and, I mean, you could say him and AJ, you don't really need much of a build there. Just have it happen, which is kind of what you have with John now. You don't need too much story because it's just the end of the line. Hey, here we are. Say goodbye. I just wanted so much more out of this. We could be getting so much heart and soul and intrigue. I remember when he came out, for WrestleMania with the title the next night, and the numbers were ticking down on the screen, and I'm like, oh, all the things that we could see, all the things that they could do. And I watched it tick down and count away, and the countdown is ending. And I don't know who feels fulfilled so far, but I certainly don't. This has not been a great retirement, year for John whatsoever. Nope. I feel like they missed a lot. They hit a lot of road bumps.
And it's
they
crazy
didn't need
when
to.
we talk. Let's go back to our Elimination Chamber review, and we were hyping this up. This is fucking amazing because we thought the best of it. Like
I thought there were so
John
many
Cena and The Rock being an unstoppable Hollywood duo. Yep. That's gonna be fucking incredible.
How do you fuck that up? How do you pass that up? John Cena, The Rock, Travis Scott, but John Cena and The Rock, and he turned heel because of The Rock. What is the story going to be with this? What is the... And then we waited.
How can you fuck
we
that
waited.
up? That's
we
money.
waited through Raw. We waited through SmackDown. We waited through Raw. We waited through SmackDown. And then we got you people, you little fat German kid, and you people. That's what he gave us after fucking weeks of buildup. That was the message from John's heel turn. Yeah.
TKO really wants money. You know how many arenas would have sold out just to see The Rock and Cena as a unit? A Hollywood duo? Oh my God.
Well, that's what never added up. The Rock said that he had to show up to Chamber because Ari asked him to, Emmanuel, to help sell tickets. We know for a fact we have a theme song because of that show.
Yo, we clutched up in Toronto.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Baz was there. The show was sold out long before they said, Cody Rhodes, I want your soul.
Yo, we clutched up in Toronto. Elimination Chamber, steel cage set, it's cutthroat behavior. Just shake on the mic, spaz up in the dome. Review game so tight, call it YouTube home. In the summer where
makes me so mad.
But if you want to look at it before, like, if we're not looking at what happened afterwards, Elimination Chamber is probably still PLE of the year.
It was peak sports entertainment. That turn was amazing. I even thought that turn could have eclipsed Hogan's turn.
Has there been a better show since
Mania? Certainly wasn't. Chamber? I would have to go back and look at the cards. I have such a bad memory
I think
for
Elimination
these
Chamber
things,
still might take the cake because that women's Elimination Chamber was awesome.
Yeah. The men's was really a lot of fun. Yeah. Everything that happened afterwards. Probably. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I have a terrible memory, but
I
Night
think
of
Elimination
Champions,
still might
John
be.
and Punk was good, but the rest of it was kind of blah. I don't remember much from Money in the
Those
Bank.
Saudi shows are like always boring.
SummerSlam was not terrible, but wasn't great either. That big TLC match was fun, but John and Cody finally had a good match there. I mean, SummerSlam, the night 2 was better than night 1, but to really think back, I'm not sure. Speaking of tonight, so they had Eric and Ivar come out with Penta. Everybody loved Penta. And they took on Kofi, Xavier, and Grayson from the New Day, plus Waller. It's a no DQ match, your typical fare, but there was a few feats of strength here that were really, really cool. Eric was basically walking around holding both New Day members high up in the air before he slammed them to the mat. That was really cool. Ivar goes for a big moonsault, but Kofi gets out of the way. They tried to slam Penta into the table that was set up in the corner, but Penta stops, catches himself, and ends up sending Kofi through the table. And that's when he hits the biggest avalanche Mexican destroyer from the top rope onto Grayson. It was beautiful. Probably broke his neck in half. Fun match, 6-man tag, trios, whatever you want to call it. It was fun. Really solid way to kick off the action on Raw. And it didn't overstay its welcome. I feel like this was about 10 minutes all in all, and fast pace, got in and out. A lot of good stuff. I give it a fair rating. We go back to the Mysterio Clubhouse. That's no longer the JD Clubhouse because Dominic's the one in charge. He's the double champ and currently running the camp. So Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Raquel, Roxanne.
Double D, Dirty Dom Clubhouse.
The janitor. Did I forget anybody else? They're all there, and Balor's like, hey, I want you to help with Rusev. And Balor's like, why don't you ask El Grande? Dom says, hey, he's in Mexico, but what about JD? And JD's like, I'm busy, but Roxanne kind of talks him into it and basically says, hey, you're going to face Rusev later. I already got it all set. It's official.
You don't even have to go talk to Adam Pearce. See what a gentleman official. Dominic is.
He really
he saved JD from having to go through all that.
Now he can just focus on the match.
Yeah,
exactly. So we got Bailey approaching Lyra and basically being like, hey,
talked about this on
over the weekend. She's like, I'm no longer crazy, and come here, let me embrace you. My biggest problem with this is that they do this weird thing where, like, the Bloodline was admitting to watching the weekly show, like, oh, Roman's watching, he sees what you guys are doing, kind of thing. So Bailey's like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't blow up on you, but no one shows her the footage, or no one, like, she didn't see it when she was in the ring waiting for Lyra, and then they replayed everything that happened last week. She's standing there in the ring. She doesn't watch this and be like, wait, that was me? Like, so when they do the split personality thing, they got to be careful with it. It's pretty generically stupid, and she's acting it pretty decently, but I'm still not crazy about it. Maybe they'll do something that better intrigues me with this, but for right now, she's crazy one minute, normal the next. Then she's the hugger. Then she's the
I want to
Karen.
like it. Yeah, I want to like it. I think it's good. I just don't know. Like when we did the vignettes, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. But like the acting in it, that was like kind of like.
Yeah, was not superb. And I'm curious in the chat, do you guys enjoy Bailey or not? A lot of people in chat so far thinking, they're thinking that Cena and Lesnar are going to be in War Games. They're on your side, bud. So good to see some people making their voices heard in the poll.
Well, usually they're always against my takes. I'm surprised.
People are thinking we're getting another Lesnar Cena match. They're holding out hope stronger than I am.
I hope it's because I think that the best scenario, if you want to make War Games, imagine that team. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Brock Lesnar all in the same War Games team.
Oh, it would be crazy. I just know Lesnar doesn't play well with others either. Every time he's been on a team, he attacks said team. So
he's going to end up getting mad and start F5ing everyone.
Which wouldn't be terrible. I mean, if he just took everybody out, could be funny. He just leaves the cage and everybody's down. Maybe.
But if he leaves the cage, would forfeit the match, right?
They went ahead and they had Stephanie back. Yeah, he would forfeit, I believe, right? Isn't that what it is? So
That's the rule, right? I think.
yeah, you quit for your team. Like everyone has to stay in unless you know.
What's that other cage match that Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle? I forgot the name
The
of that.
Fight Pit.
They haven't the
Wasn't
Fight
it?
Pit.
I'm pretty sure it was a Fight Pit.
That's what I thought it was.
And
the Fight
Extreme
Pit,
Rules
like,
when Bray
cage.
Wyatt came back. Yeah, Riddle,
They need to bring
had some
that
fun
back.
things in that. They had Cormier as the ref for that one. Hey, speaking of bringing things back, they brought that ass back because Stephanie Vacourt came out to the ring. She talked about her dad being there. He was in the audience. She was great. She said, she'll see the winner of who has the triple threat match on Friday. She'll be there in person. And she said, whoever wins, you're going to face me, and I'm going to be the new champion. So they shot off a ton of pyro. Her dad smiled from ear to ear. It was very heartwarming. I love her a ton. She's one of my favorites for a great reason. She's only getting better. I love seeing the ascent and the ride that she's on. Then we see Stephanie walk backstage. She's talking to Nikki. Nikki's, being, congratulatory. Rhea comes over and says, I'm coming for the belt. And she says, I'm ready. And that's when Asuka and Kairi walk up, and Asuka just starts berating everybody. She's like, you don't deserve to be champion. And this is when Nikki's like, no, she deserves it. And Stephanie's like, hey, you want to go ahead and face me? You can fight me anytime you want. That's when Rhea gets in her face and says, fuck you, Asuka. You're a bully. I don't like bullies. So you can bully your way out of here. And I was like, wow, Rhea, that's a forceful T word at the end there. You called her a cunt. I was surprised, but you did. Called her a cunt. Just saying. Asuka goes ahead and takes off and says they could settle it in the ring. She accepts a challenge. Kairi just stands there and kind of grips her hand weird for a second. She wants to apologize, but then Asuka, Kairi, summons her, and that's that. That's a pretty big match. I'm surprised I didn't advertise it for next week and build it a bit, having Rhea and Asuka just happen. Yeah, all right, let's have this. I was excited for it. Bayley taking on Roxanne. This was very short because of the commercials cutting apart so much of the match. We lost like almost 5 minutes of a 10-minute match to commercials. Bayley kind of goes through the changes. She gets hit with a suicide dive. Then she basically grabs Roxanne by the hair, pulls her in the ring, spins her around, hits her with a Bayley to belly and a rose plant. So it's like, oh, she's changing. Then she's changing again. And then she rubs her temples and exits the ring and yelling at Lyra, shoves her down to the ground. Kind of seems like some people's ex-girlfriends, maybe, but I don't know. This bit of crazy is not working for me right now. What do you think of Bayley? It's not weird in like a intriguing, like, ooh, this could be fun way. This is weird in like it doesn't seem believable. I don't know. It's not the best acted.
It's giving me yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the vignettes like sold me on it at first, but like seeing her back.
Because the vignettes were edited, so they were able to cut out the audio and have her talk over herself. But trying to do the I'm crazy thing live is very nuanced and difficult to handle. Like, you have to be not too zany, but not too, people think it's so easy to do the Joker, and then they wonder why there's only one Heath Ledger and why, he's no longer with us. Brings a toll on your mind.
A few people that can pull off like the psychopath gimmick in WWE, and I don't think Bayley's one of them. And no offense to Bayley, I love Bayley. I think she's an incredible in-ring wrestler, but the acting for this character alone, not for me so far. I don't know.
Where's Heidenreich when we need him, right?
Yeah, it just seems
I guess somebody that rips you, Heidenreich. Rusev against JD. This was a match. It was basically all about JD not getting the help that he needed from Dirty Dom. At the end, Dirty Dom climbs on the apron. The referee sees him, and that just leads to Dom freezing, and JD gets put in the accolade and taps out. Finn Balor runs in to try and save JD, and that was pretty much it. Balor yelled at Dom for not doing anything. So more Judgment Day, interpersonal battles interwoven throughout the match. But Dom did nothing to help and looked like a total bitch. And he could play, he could feign innocent and play stupid and just be, oh, I tried but couldn't. But it's only going to work for so much longer. We know the breakup of these guys is coming. I'm just curious if we're still going to get a face Dom or not. You know, it seems like they might be holding off a little bit. The fans want to cheer him, but he's a dummy. Yeah. Speaking of dummy, we get Jay and LA Knight making their freaking entrances. Jay is extremely over, but LA Knight, my God, this man embodies everything there needs to be a top level star. He's great on the mic.
Refresh my memory because my brain was kind of mush on Saturday. Who got pinned? Jay or Jimmy?
I think it was Jay. I thought.
So I think that's what I'm saying. It kind of makes sense that LA Knight counted the pin.
Yeah, them having a match here makes sense. It's not a terrible thing. I appreciate that Jay is so focused on revenge that he can't get the right revenge against the Bronze, instead of seeing like, hey, LA Knight tried to help you. He let you guys take chair shots. He let you, even all the issues you two had together, he still gave you guys the leeway in the match, which he really did. So you figure Jay is very misguided and doing things the wrong way. Eventually, LA Knight, after we're getting defeated through a little bit of cheating, so he goes and LA Knight goes to the top rope, hits his beautiful elbow drop. Like I was saying, this guy is mint in the ring. He's great money on the mic. He's got the look. He is just total embodied superstar. They really need to push him a bit more, but I'm worried that he's turning still. Like I said, I may be way off, but one
of them I feel is maybe I'm a little sold on that now. I think maybe they're on the same War Games team, and that's where it happens. I don't know. Could
be. You know, Knight goes ahead, and he's got the BFT locked and ready to unload, but he sees the Bronze coming out, so he starts fighting off the heels, and what does Jay do? He spears him. That's his thank you for saving him from the Bronze. Then he hits him with an Uso splash. He gets the win in about 9 minutes, and you see Seth Rollins kind of backstage talking to Becky. I was like, oh, maybe we'd get more from the Vision, but nope, that was it. Becky is venting. She's going off about how everybody is, great. Sure, Now she's going off about how everybody is terrible. She's the great one. She's perfect. And even ESPN and Sports Center and everybody says so. And she goes on about Cody. She bitches about the Usos. She takes on CM Punk. She talks about AJ Lee and how she's just the greatest. I am the greatest. It's great, 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 great. Felt like Tony Khan for a minute there. She's like, you know what? I'm going to go make an example. And finally looks up, she grabs her title, and she leaves the room. So I don't know what that's leading to, but I don't think we got anything else from her the rest of the night. We got another fight between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, because Io was basically saying, you shouldn't be getting involved. And Rhea's like, hey, Asuka's been very disrespectful. Maybe we can kind of beat the respect into each other. And, she said that Io is family, Asuka's family, Io said. And she's like, I don't know if I can trust Rhea. And Io, walks away, and poor Rhea's standing there upset. Kind of feels like she put her foot in her mouth. She's like, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry. But Io already walked away. And this eventually leads to our main event. But just before there, we get a promo package for El Grande Americanos. Los Americanos. They're counting all three of them as El Grande Americano, and they're having the three of them be a new faction, Los Americanos. They have a sponsorship deal for El Grande, legitimately, like behind the scenes. They have a sponsorship deal set up for him. So he's going to be sponsoring some product. That's a big deal for Mr. Ludwig Kaiser. I get he likes the fame and adulation that comes with being a huge, star. But
you think Ludwig likes the gimmick?
He loves it, apparently. He's all about it because of all the attention that he's getting. He's going to Mexico, and people are waiting in droves to see him arrive at the airport and sign autographs. And I feel like none of this is necessary.
First came on the scene,
It was
People
great.
called it a racist gimmick.
Yeah, I thought it was great because it was funny. It was tongue in cheek to a certain extent. Like it was a little
Like with
racist,
Chad
but it
Gable doing
wasn't.
it.
Yeah, Chad was being slightly racist, but he wasn't mean. He was just ill-informed, and he might be a little misaligned in his thinking, but he was trying to at least achieve something with the character. Since then, it's just been this guy exists. There's a couple clones. We'll put him in matches. It lost any of the allure that it had to it, any of the specialty or specialness around it, I should say, really, because they just they overused their hand here. They have him come out, and then they have the other two interfere so often, and it doesn't really make a great deal of sense. Like, I understood once why these guys were doing it, because they were all messing with Penta. So it's like, oh, everybody that Penta has fought now comes in as El Grande. Gotcha, Chad included. So it was all four of them, 3 other El Grandes. But besides that, having multiples makes zero sense. And continuing with the gimmick while Chad's gone is really kind of drab. I mean, it was funny at first, but they've done nothing to add to it. They're just adding more time and more people without actually building up this gimmick. There's no point to it. There's nothing in it. And it's not as fun as it once was. At least if it was there and they were still having a great time with it. They're doing well in AAA, but as far as like the main roster goes, no one gives a shit. So
Right.
the Gulf of America joke made people go nuts. It did. And sadly, from there, it just fell off. It was supposed to be divisive and piss people off. That was the point of the heel that was Chad Gable. But then it kind of took on a life of its own. And now we've got, Mr. Iguana. He's got an iguana. We've even got Demonito.
He's got an iguana.
He's got an iguana too. Rhea Ripley, Asuka. Match of the night for me. Asuka's great. I'm glad that she got the pinfall here. You saw her celebrating. And, it was good. No, Rhea wins. What are they doing? Why do we have to have Asuka lose here? She's going through this heel turn. I get, like, all right, it's her and Kyrie. They bump into each other, and it's miscommunication. But Kyrie was already on Asuka's side. Like, yeah, she wanted to apologize. She wanted to, but she was willing to attack people. We saw that in the aftermath. She attacked Io. She attacked Rhea. So why have her lose and play this card of, oh, well, she cost her the match by getting in the way. Is there going to be trouble? Are they going to get along? Is there going to be dissension? No, she immediately fell in line and started attacking both women. So in the end there, you had Asuka telling Kyrie to go after Ripley. And Kyrie Sane holds her wrist, and then she makes a fist. She makes it all the way to the other side of the ring. And it's real slow and real silly, but they're going with it. And she climbs the apron and she throws a back fist, and then Rhea stuffs it. But it's enough for Asuka to try and, get the sneak attack. But Rhea moves. Asuka goes ahead and she knocks Kyrie off the apron. And that's when Rhea rolls her up and gets the quick 1, 2, 3. This was a great match until the ending. And it's not because, Asuka lost. But yeah, Asuka lost. It doesn't make a great deal of sense when you're having her be the heel here and having everybody else be wrong. And so now we're back to just heat afterwards. And they attack her, and they attack Io. And of course, Kyrie falls in line. It beats them both down. But why show the miscommunication and the issue between the two if it means nothing 10 seconds later? I guess it's a clean win for Rhea, but she really didn't need it. Rhea, of all people, didn't need the win here. Rhea could lose and still be just as over. Rhea is the top face of the women's division, and she's the top star possibly of all of WWE. Like, she is really up there as far as, like, numbers go, metrics, all of it. She is WWE. She represents this company a great deal. Didn't need the win here at all. If Asuka won and did the mist and won anything, and you keep building Asuka up so she can go and challenge for the title. No, Asuka lost. So what do we, it's like, oh, she lost and she has to cheat. It just really bogs Asuka down when I feel like we should be building her up as much as possible. And then Kyrie acting so exaggerative and overly expressive, the slow, and she's got to go around the ring and climb up the stairs and by the time it's so telegraphed that she's going to do an attack that it takes away any spontaneity to it, any gravitas to the situation. Like, oh, she is going to attack her. This is great. Now we get. Yeah. Like I said, say I don't give a fuck and then have an anxiety attack. Absolutely. I know I sound hypocritical here, but I figured Asuka as the heel could do more with a victory than Rhea. You figure you want Asuka to be challenging for the title, right? You want to build her up, or at least a tag title, something.
You would think.
Yeah, we don't have any chicken shit. We've not had any heels that aren't chicken shit heels. Yeah, exactly. Who's right? Because when has WWE had a not chicken shit heel? They're all the same way, where they got to cheat, they run away, they're weak. That's why I like Ethan Page in NXT right now, because he backs it up. He wrestles really well, and he's kicking ass in the ring, and he does these devious, underhanded things, but he doesn't always need them to win. He often just relies on himself. But Lesnar's the only heel that comes in, whoops ass, and leave. Everybody else either gets their ass beat and then has to do something sneaky afterwards. Excuse me. They went nowhere with the Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross, tell me I'm right angle for SummerSlam, and then he was gone. Rusev, I guess, is a badass going out there, but even him, you see every now and again not get the job done. I don't know. It was a bit disappointing because we didn't get CM Punk, we didn't get AJ Lee, so that's certainly a little upsetting. You figured they'd want to be there for their, after her big re-debut match after 10 years of not wrestling, she'd be celebrating. I want to know what they're doing going forward. Are we going to get them in individual title matches past Crown Jewel? But that's probably why we didn't see them, because they want to hold those things off till we get past Crown Jewel. And is that a problem? Is Crown Jewel a problem? Is this going to be an issue every year where we have to kind of like hold the brakes on creative to do these things unless they really think ahead? Last year was its introduction, the inaugural Crown Jewel. We're going to have champion versus champion, kind of like Survivor Series, but this time you get a trophy, a belt, and a ring. Having Cody and Gunther go head to head was great. That was a dream match. They had a really good match. Cody won. It builds him up going forward. He's taking on Cena at Mania. Awesome. Like we had things in motion. Liv won. Everyone was surprised. She wasn't, even ever considered. Everybody thought Nia was going to steamroll her. So it made her into even a bigger star. Stephanie winning over Nia, Tiffany, or Jade. I'm not sure that that's a win that elevates her. Nia, I don't see it being as big of a deal because people have done it already. Jade, people don't really believe in either. So,
Jade has lost quite a bit.
That's what I'm saying. So I would say have Tiffany hold it, and then because Tiffany's defended the title successfully so far, and have her and Stephanie go at it.
Tiffany can actually just give her the best quality match as well.
Probably. They still both have a little bit of NXT left in them, and even with it being face versus face, I think they can have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I would go with Tiffany Stratton
kind of concept though, but like
and
when
Stephanie
they did
Vancouver.
Liv, it was heel versus heel.
Absolutely,
So kind of concept.
Just kind of flip things on its head. But that's how I.
Well,
go
what's funny
with
with that though, then like these Crown Jewel title match things. Like what's funny with it with Nia and Liv though is like they like hated each other, talked about how much they don't like each other. Then all of a sudden, like a few weeks later, they were on the same War Games team. Like there was no issues.
No, absolutely. And speaking of no issues, I mean, around the ballpark, their Twitter let us know. They said, why don't we go ahead? We get 2 floor seats for Mania. I'm going to say 3 because I'm going to throw you in on there. Right? So what is that? Like $48,000? Plus, we got to get 2 nights of Vegas hotels, airfare, a rental car. So when we make the GoFundMe and tell everybody I have cancer, it's really for Mania. Just, did I say that? Not you? No, I'm muted. Okay. Yeah, when I say that I make the GoFundMe about my cancer, and really we're going to use the money towards Mania, like that, you figure we're going to need like what? 70,000? Well, we're going to Vegas. I should say I have really bad cancer, because we want money to gamble with, right?
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah, incriminate yourself too on this, please. Yeah, you want to gamble. So I think we should ask maybe like 110,000. What? Wait. They can't prove it. What if we say we're brothers and we both have this rare cancer, and the only way that we could save each other is if we gave each other our bone marrow, but because we're sick, we can't transplant to each other, so we're gonna die. So we're too old for Make-A-Wish, but we want to go to Mania, and then we ask for the $110,000.
Wait, that's a perfect idea. I like that. No one can hear
you're
us,
right.
though, right?
No, I made sure, but we should probably get back to the show. All in all, I don't know what to give Raw. I'm pretty confused and conflicted because the wrestling itself was pretty damn good. Rhea, Asuka, great match. Fuck it, we're doing it live. It felt like they got out there and they battled Jey Uso and LA Knight. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. Rusev and JD, nah. More of a skip, blase. Bailey and Roxanne, nah, not what I was looking for, but all right. And then, obviously, we had the opening, the 6-man tag, which was a lot of fun. A bit spot heavy, but a lot of fun. So it feels like we're somewhere in the 5 or 6 out of 10 range. Out of 5 matches, 2 of them were worthwhile. The other 3 were mediocre. I'm going to say 6 out of 10 for this night, and that's not terrible. You know, they still have a while to go for what we can assure you to be a good but probably skippable crown jewel card. I feel like pretty much every match they're going to set up for that show is just going to be a match for match sake. No real heavy story implications, and all of that will resume once we get out of Australia. Sadly, I think
I'm going to give this a...
We don't appreciate good wrestling. See, I do appreciate good wrestling. That 6-man tag had some great wrestling. I just have a hard time when there's not good stories. See, I can't just base it all on only the wrestling. Most of everything WWE gives you in ring is going to be good. It'll be competent, well wrestled. It's going to tell a story.
Who cares?
You're on the main roster for a reason, but you want to care.
Match,
yeah.
How are you supposed to get invested if they don't make you care by the not telling a good story?
I'm struggling to care with Rusev and JD McDonough. You know, they're heels on heels, and they're both beating each other's ass. And it's not like Dom is getting anything out of it. He's a heel too with the double champ. So that story is a little underwhelming. Doesn't really pull you in. Jay and LA Knight, you don't really want them to be fighting each other. So I'm personally rooting for LA Knight. I'm sure you're rooting for Jay, but even all in all in that, it feels like they're kind of forcing us into choosing a favorite when we don't necessarily have to at this time. And it kind of falls apart with the heelish end. We don't know what's going to happen with Jay. It kind of seems like it's going one way, but we don't know for sure. Is Roman going to be the one to come in and be like, hey, don't become me. You have a better path to be set on, and help him become himself again? We don't know. And then you figure, like I said, Bailey and Roxanne, there wasn't really much there for his story. Bailey's losing it. In the 6-man tag was just about the New Day hating Penta's finisher. So he did the finisher on top of the ropes to make it the ultimate avalanche finisher and really killed Grayson Waller's neck. I appreciate that. Cody, what's your rating out of 10, sir?
5.5.
5.5. I'm at a 6. I feel like that's fair. Some of the stuff with the Judgment Day, I understand why they while Liv is on her hiatus, we might see her return in just a couple days, people are saying now again.
I don't care what Liv says, but that's my women's wrestler goat.
Hey, so. Can't argue with it. And I want to care about more than what we're getting right now. That was the thing the other night, like Edge and Christian, I have such a heavy nostalgia for. It was fun to see them in the match, but I couldn't really care about the story. And the beatdown afterwards is more frustrating in the sense of you had his wife debut. You couldn't just let them share a fun moment and do the heat this week on Dynamite. That you have to do it then there in Canada. Why send those fans away with a negative, a memory when it doesn't do anything to change the feud? It's as it was already. The Waynes and Christian hate each other, and you saw Edge kind of just get pulled in there. He's a victim of circumstance trying to get back with his brother. it was what it was. It was a fair show today for Raw. Not bad, worth checking out, but probably in fast forward
Gotta get
form.
into something else.
I know. We do have to go ahead and see how my picks were for the NFL.
Oh, how'd you go last week? 10-6?
I did. I went 10-6, so 8-8 and 10-6 so far. Week 3, we've got to see. Liz enjoyed Raw over Wrestlepalooza. You're not alone. I've seen some people on Twitter say the same as well. Let us know what your rating was in either one of the chats, either on Twitter or on the YouTubes. We appreciate it. Give us your score out of 10, and also let us know what was your favorite moment. 8 out of 10 from Liz. I can see it. There were some, things that people enjoy over some other stuff, but for me, I'm just hoping for a bit more. Tomorrow night, we got a bit more NXT in the house. That's right. We've got the title for title match happening. Obafemi, Trick Williams, TNA, WWE, NXT. Live tomorrow night. Going to be great. NXT champ taking on the TNA champ, title for title. Someone's walking out double champ and going to Bound for Glory to take on Mike Santana. That's huge. So whoever wins this is going to lose to Mike, and the title's going back to TNA then. That's my guess, but I don't know who's going to win. I have tried to predict this, and I have flip-flopped and hemmed and hawed repeatedly. Every time I get myself to a place where I'm like, I think this will happen.
I like it. Oh, yeah, man.
Something comes up in my head, and I'm like, nope, Trick's winning. So I keep going back and forth. We'll see, but we will be live tomorrow after NXT to give you guys our review of the title versus title epic match going down, as well as seeing who's the #1 contender for the speed title. Then this Wednesday, we'll be live for Into Somewhere Weekly, giving predictions for the upcoming weekend for NXT No Mercy, and covering a bunch of wrestling news as well, letting you know what's going on with AEW's next premium live event themselves, their pay-per-view, and what's happening. So we'll see what happens and what's going down. All right, let's see here for my picks for week 3. I originally said the Bills were going to win.
The Bills did win.
Look at that. I am 1 up already. Then I had the Vikings. Let me add this here.
Vikings won.
Oh, 2 for 2. Let's see. There we go, chat. Vikings, 2 for 2. Then I had the Texans.
Jaguars won.
All right. What did I have for my negative mark? That? Yeah, there we go. All right. The Colts.
They did win.
Colts won. All right. What about the Redskins?
They won.
See, I went with your team. I didn't go with the washed up foreskins. I went with the commanding Redskins. The Rams. Did the Rams win?
Unfortunately, no. The Eagles won.
Ah, damn.
They were
Eagles.
close. Eagles came back last second and won. I don't know why, but that's.
Wow. What about the
Fucking
Falcons? Fucking Eagles.
The Panthers. I don't even know how this happened. The Panthers blew them out 30-0.
I don't get that at all. What about New England Patriots?
Steelers won.
Green Bay?
This is another upset. The Browns won.
I'm not doing too hot. Jets.
Buccaneers won.
Oh, no. Denver.
Studying a downfall here. Chargers won.
Oh, no. The Saints.
Seahawks won.
Oh, God. The Bears.
The Bears did win.
All right. The 49ers.
They won.
The Giants lost. They're 0-3. And then what do we get for tonight with the Ravens?
They lost 38-24.
Well, then. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
You started out hot
5,
there.
6. So I went 6 and 10, the opposite of last week. Yikes. Week 3, 6 and 10. So 8 and 8, 10 and 6, 6 and 10. Remember, if I get myself to a more than 50% winning season, we're making Cody streak and run through the police station yelling, "I am the coming of Zool, all hail me." So,
We didn't agree. We didn't agree to that.
that'd be a lot of fun. Don't worry about it. You'll be safe. Bears. We'll get you in there. You'll be fine. They know you won't have any weapons on you because you'll be naked. So that was why I thought of that one.
That's
I didn't
true.
want you to get shot. You'll probably get tased, but you ever been tased?
No.
Just make sure you take a healthy shit before you get tased. So you don't want to shit all over the place. Well,
Why
they got
have you been tased?
Yes, actually. Not with the prong ones, with the actual stun gun one. When I was in college one night, we did a gauntlet night where we tried to do like dumb stunts. And basically people would bet money to be like, oh, you wouldn't do this for 20. You wouldn't do it. And then you would up the money and it would up the stunt. So one of the things, I got pepper sprayed. I had to smoke an entire pack of Lucky Strike cigarettes. So that's a no filtered cigarettes without stopping or vomiting. I did that under an hour. Killed my lungs, but a bunch of just stupid fucking dares. And the pepper spray was worse because the taser incapacitates you right then and there, and then you're just your muscles are sore, you just drop out. But the pepper spray, you feel like you can't breathe even though you are getting oxygen in, so the entire time you just feel like you're choking and nothing helps. And then days later when you shower, it still burns. And if you don't rinse it off properly and it runs down your body, then your dick burns and your body anywhere it touches on fire. Like, fuck pepper spray. Shoot my ass with the goddamn taser all damn day. Lucky Strikes that was hell, but that was the nicotine challenge. I won that one. Big bong rips, pretty much. Yeah. Back in the day at college, trying to make that money. We used to go ahead and pool change together so that we could buy the $2 bingo scratch ticket. And then we would do that together. Like literally, everybody had a job. One person would scratch the numbers, one person would call the numbers, one person would scratch the top part of the car. So everybody had something to do and felt involved. And if we won, if it was over $20, it went back into the pot. If it was under 20, it paid for weed. That's how it worked, One day at a time, my friend. You got to keep themselves going. That's the real Connecticut lottery.
Before we get off air,
how
did the poll?
So far, you're winning right now. Lesnar versus Cena. Is it happening at War Games? Yes, 62% of the votes. No, with 38%. So it looks like you, sir, finished the night with the poll in your favor. People think they are going to see Team Cena, Team Lesnar, or at least Lesnar and Cena facing each other in a War Game scenario. Crazy. Hey, if we get it, and I got to admit that I'm wrong and say sorry again, then I'll do it. But
here's the thing: if Lesnar is doing a War Games match, that must mean he's really just interested in the feud, because usually it would be hard to get him to do a match like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I cannot believe he'd be in a multi-man cage match. Like, that just doesn't scream Lesnar wants to do that to me. And what he does not want to do, he doesn't do. Pretty damn much.
Yeah, because if he says I'm not doing it, what are they going to say?
Yeah, how are you going to argue with Lesnar? No, you're absolutely going to get inside that cage. Well, if I get in the cage and I'm going to actually kill people, you know what? You could skip the cage. That's how that one turns out. Well, we'll have more content throughout the week, and also another edition of the UCR podcast as well. Hopefully YouTube will not censor this one, but we'll see what happens. As we mentioned, we'll be live for NXT tomorrow night, and then we'll be live this Wednesday into Somewhere Weekly, where we'll get your predictions for NXT No Mercy and go over a bunch of WWE and AEW news and rumors. Cody, please tell these amazing people where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube, and yes, I'll be posting gaming content. I want to do GTA Online and all that fun stuff also at Judgment Day Era. And you can find me over on my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead and get the follow action going on. Thank you guys for being in the chat and being vocal. Thank you all for hitting the like button as well and subscribing. Still over 10,000 subscribers strong. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you all have a great night. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Countdown Ended. Follow us on Rumble and on Instagram at Countdown Ended as well. We're on TikTok. It's Jake.CountdownEnded. And you can find us on pretty much everywhere podcasts can be found now. You go ahead and search on Spotify or elsewhere into somewhere, and you'll find us. So, guys, as always, have a great night. We'll see you live tomorrow night. And until then, I hope you all stay sexy.